Hello guys, welcome to my another lecture video, and today's lesson is going to be Microsoft Word and Excel. So first we're going to be talking about how to create a basic document. So the application that you guys will be using is called Microsoft Word. So what you first have to do is to open the application. Do this by double clicking the Microsoft Word icon, which is right here. And this Word icon is accessible through the search bar, which is located on your Windows tab. So I will show you the steps later with an example as well. So the second step is to review the available templates. So if you enter the applications, of course, there will be four or more available options, as you can see in the picture right here on the right. It says blank document, meal planning journal, welcome to Word, insert your first table of content. And there are more templates such as creative resumes, cover letters, student report with cover photos, fax cover sheet, and more. So it really depends on what you want to create, and these documents will format the designs for you. So just choose any of these and create a new document. It's right here. Choose a template. Doing so will open the template in Word with whatever predetermined formatting applies to it. Now that your document is open, you're ready to review your toolbar options. So just choose any of the options that I previously mentioned. Just blank document, creative resumes, and more. So it really depends on what you want to create. If you want to create a calendar, you might as well make a meal planning journal. But if you just want to write an essay or just have a separate notes, just create a blank document and that will do. So next, talking about the Microsoft Word toolbar, there are buttons such as File, Home, Insert, Draw, Design, Layout, References, Mailings, and more. So first we're going to talk about the File button, and so what does that do? So as you can see, the File button is right here, highlighted in green, on the top left corner. If you click that, it brings you to the page on the right here. So as you can see, there are buttons of Home, New, Open, Info, Save, Save As, and Save as Adobe PDF. So of course, as you can see, the New button creates a new document. Open button brings a file from your folder and creates in this Word document. Info is just information. Save is saving the document. Save as is saving it as another name. So if you want to save the document for later usage, you can click the Save As button. And Save as Adobe PDF, it just saves it as a separate PDF. Now moving on to the Insert button. So what this insert button does is create different tables, pictures, shapes, icons into the document. So as you can see, the table right here on the fourth button, I believe. So if you click that, you can create any different tables. So which may include 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 1 by 2, 2 by 3, any of those. So actually created this table using that insert function. And as you can see, this table is a 3 by 3. And of course, there are more options to how to create the table on this little arrow key right here. So if you press that, there are more options such as you can create a 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and more. So the button on the right here is pictures. So if you click that, you can either insert picture that is saved in your computer, or you can search a physical picture by yourself and place it in your Microsoft Word document. So I just placed a picture of a city right here, which is pretty cool. That's why I put it here. And of course, I did this by clicking the pictures button in the insert tab. And there are also shapes, which you can create different shapes right here. As you can see, I created a triangle, circle, and trapezoid. So as you can see, there is this down arrow key. You can press that and it shows way more options. And I'm going to show you how to create these with examples and later pictures too. Let's see, the next one is a design tablet. So what this does is that it designs and kind of determines what the title and the heading is going to be. So if you want to have a big title, let's say, you can click the fourth one right here, which creates not only a big title, but a heading more underneath it to more emphasize what the title is saying. So there are more options, such as the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, and seventh one. And I believe seventh one is more of like a book type document, which creates a heading one and there is a mark underneath it, which looks pretty cool. So these are all the design templates that you can see. You can actually select them and make different design documents. So next is the layout tab. It's not that important, so I'm not gonna go too much into detail. But what this basically does is that it switches the tabs. Basically, there is this line where the words break into the next line. So what it does is that I'm going to, of course, show it in the next part in the video that you can either shrink them or enlarge them to make the sentences longer or make the page itself longer. So it's better to show you with an example later. So I'll continue that. And the next one is formatting your writing. So first, open a new blank document in Word, which you guys might have already done. And then second is enter a text. So to do this is very simple. You have to click on any empty space on the document and write anything. If you can see on the picture on the right here, it says tiny house living. So it's just a random text. You can click on any part of the page and it's going to be on the first blank space. So what you're going to do is just type a random word. It doesn't have to be tiny house living, but just write your name or write a favorite book of yours or write anything. So what you're going to do next is highlight a section of text. So after you write something, you have to highlight it to either change the font or change the size of the font. So to do this, click and drag your cursor across your writing. So to do this, you have to click and hold and then make sure your cursor goes over all the words. So then let go when you've highlighted the section you wish to edit. So let's say you want to edit tiny house living. You click here, you drag all the way across your mouse and then to the end of the word, which is living. So, and then you let it go to edit the text. So for consider what you want to do to the writing. Some potential options include, I'm not going to read all this, but what you can do is basically change the font, change the size of the text. You can also change the color of the text, and you can also change the boldness. You can italicize it, and there are many options which I'll definitely show you guys later by an example. Okay, number 5, continue working with Word. Your preferred options for your documents will differ based on your intention behind creating them. So the more you work within your work particular format, the more proficient you'll become. So basically what this is telling you is that you of course have to save. And to do this, I told you guys before, click the Save As button. Or you can also click Save button, which saves it directly to the Word program, which you can access later. But if you want to send it to someone else or use that for another purpose, it's better to click the Save As button and save it directly to your computer. So why is Microsoft Word helpful? It helps us to do write-ups, create documents, resumes, contracts, and more. Now I'm actually going to show you guys some examples here. If you guys can see here, Word Microsoft 365. So right here, I'm on my own Word document, Word application. So as you guys can see, these are all the types of formats that I can choose from, which consists of blank documents, general notes, student APA, MLA style, open house, simple resume, formal business letter, and way more. You can click see more tabs right here. It doesn't actually let me see more, but here we go. Okay, these are all the types of formats that I can choose from. Let's say I want to write a daily lesson plan. I click this document. Well, it has it all set up for me. If I wanted to create a daily kind of schedule, this will be a perfect outline for me. So here, you can click here. This is the first word of the page, the dark ages. As guys told you guys before, click if it allows me to. There we go. Click here and drag it along to highlight everything that it says. The dark ages. Then I let it go. Then I right click to fix it. You see the familiarity? You see it? Now you can change the font by clicking this right here. As you can see, there are different free fonts, show more. These are all the types of fonts that you can choose from. Let's say I want to write it with, oh, this font looks pretty cool, then I want to click that. See, it changed the letters. How amazing. Now I can click the dirty button and change the size of the text, which I can make it. Right now it's 30, but I can make it even bigger into 48. Now look how big it is. The dark ages. You can of course highlight it and change it back to 30 again, which I can type 30, enter. It's now back to normal. And I'm just gonna show you some more interesting packs. See, if you can look at this, it's a highlighting icon. So if you click the arrows underneath it, you can highlight the text with different colors. Yellow, and it's highlighted yellow. Pretty cool, right? You can also highlight it in green, blue, magenta, red, and way many colors. So font color, you can choose out of them. Right now it's blue, but I can always change it to green. That's green, but it's hard to see, so let me just change it back to purple. Okay, now that I'm set with the size font, the highlights and everything, now I can start editing. Let's see. Right off the bat, we notice that this is a table. Let's say I want to fix this table. Table design. This was actually not mentioned in the slideshow, but I guess I can show you that now. So these are different table designs that you can choose from, like right here. Let's say I don't like the style. I want to fix something. I want to make it different. So let's say I choose this one right here. See, it looks completely different. Let's say I chose this one. And now it looks too bluey. Doesn't look that good, but I can always switch it back. Let's see. Let's choose this one. Okay, this one's pretty neat. This one's pretty clean. So I'm gonna choose this one. So this is a type of table, and you can always edit what you want to fix. So let's say highlight everything right here. It's a table, and then you can always insert a new table. Let's say I want another table underneath this. Let's see. Insert. Actually, there are more here. Underneath here, I want to create another table. You can see table picture right here. I can always add another picture from this device. Let's say I want to add a picture. Oh, some interesting picture that I had. Eiffel Tower. Oh, it's just a picture of an Eiffel Tower, black and white theme. So this is a picture I can add. I can always delete it with the backspace, which I told you in the last video. Backspace is delete. Now let's say I want to insert another table. So right here you can see, if I click the under arrow right here, 1 by 1 table, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, and any type of table that you can create. Even 2 by 3, 3 by 2, and way more. So you can, this application also has a drawing function. I don't know if your version has this, but you can draw anything. So let's say draw with a pen. See, I want to include like any scribble, just scribble around like this. See, I'm close. Now it creates the scribble that I drew. It's a pretty cool feature, right? Let's delete that. And let's just figure out more applications that we can choose from. All my video, new comment, I don't think that's that important. Page numbers, you can always add a page number. Let's say it doesn't have a page number, so you can add this number, and let's say page and then number. Let's see. Not sure if it shows here. One. I can add a footer, but as you can see, it's a page number right here. 1 and page 2. I don't know if it added the page numbers, but it doesn't really matter right now. So the layout that I'm talking about earlier, left, let's see, let's increase it by 1 inch. 4. Do you guys see the difference now? As I kind of shrink it and expand it, look at how it's changing right now. I'm moving the page up so that it's more wider throughout the whole page. Reference, review, view, it's not that important. So the important ones are only insert, layout, and maybe some highlighted options like this. Highlighted, and then there are many other options that you can choose from. So it's really interesting, right? Microsoft Word is very helpful, not only just to document, but also to just have fun in general. Now we're going to talk about Microsoft Excel. So, first, understanding Excel. Use the same method as you did for Microsoft Word to get access to Microsoft Excel by typing Microsoft Excel in your Windows search bar, which I didn't show you guys here. Search here, you can say Microsoft Word, and it should be open something like this, and you can always click it. Okay, the second step is to create or open a workbook. When people refer to Excel files, they're referring to workbooks, which are files that contain one or more sheets of data on individual tabs. Each tab is called worksheet or spreadsheet, both of which are used interchangeably. When you open Excel, you'll be prompted to open or create a workbook. To start from scratch, click blank workbook, as you can see on the picture right here, highlighted in green. Otherwise, you can open an existing workbook or create a new one from one of Excel's helpful templates, such as those designed for budgeting. So, same as what Microsoft Word has to offer, Microsoft Excel has different prompts as well. So, this, as you can see here, is just a blank workbook, which is pretty boring. Let's say you want to create something more interesting, something more fashiony. You can always get access to separate prompts, which I'll show you guys later too. Now, three is saving your workbook. Once you save your workbook once, Excel will automatically save any changes that you make by default. This prevents you from accidentally losing data. So you can save by doing, of course, the same thing. Click Files, click Home, click Save As, and you can type in any letters. So let's say I want to save as JVention spreadsheet. So I type that and then save it to my computer. So it's permanently saved in my computer. And Excel, as they said, it will automatically save any changes that you make by default. So you don't have to worry about any deleted data. Now moving on to actually how to use Microsoft Excel and entering and formatting the data. So first is to click a cell to select it, right here as you can see in the picture right. I'm not going to read all this, but I'm just going to give you guys a basic summary of it. So when you type something into the cell, the input text is called value. So let's say you type in a number or any letters. Spreadsheet and Microsoft Excel is basically what you create data from. So you can create different data for science purposes and science experiments. So this is what Excel is generally used for. And when entering data, the first row of your worksheet is typically used to as headers for each columns. Let's say I want to sell this many socks at this much price. So I can label socks on each top of the column, and then label it socks, and then type of sock, type of socks, type of socks, and on the right, on the very top of the column is price, and the number of price for this special socks, this number of price for this special socks, and you can create a table like that, which of course I will show you by an example later. So type a word or number into the cell. As you're typing, you'll see the letters and or numbers appear in the cell, as well as in the formula bar at the top of the worksheet. So basically, it's talking about how you can type anything. Like here is typing date, which of course is interchangeable by any other words that you can interpret. Let's continue. Press enter or return. This enters the data into the cell and moves to the next cell to column. Of course, you guys should know that after you type something, you click the enter space, which of course makes sure it saves into the cell and then moves on to the next column. Let's see. Number 4, edit a cell value. If you need to make a change to a cell, you can double click the cell to activate a cursor. can see on the right picture here, highlighted in green. And then make any changes you need. When you're finished, just press enter or return again. So as you guys did for the Microsoft Word, as you highlighted from one word to another, you dragged your cursor around and then highlighted it. This works pretty similarly, but all you have to do is double click on the cell, which is pretty simpler compared to what Word has to offer. So if you double click the cell, it highlights this whole thing, and you can right click to edit. I'll show you guys later as well. So creating tables. Number one is to select any of the data you've entered so far. Adding your data to a table is the easiest way to work with and analyze data. Start by highlighting the values you've entered so far, including your column headers. Tables also make it easier to sort and filter your data based on values. So basically select all. Now you're going to do the changes. Click Format as Table. You can see on the picture right here. It's on the very top, and I believe it's the second button from the left. You'll see this at the top center part of the Home tab. So now, after you highlight it, you click this button, Format as Table. So third, select the table style. Choose any of Excel's default table styles to get started. You'll see a small window called Create Table when selected. So if you click this little arrow down right here, you'll see all the different tables. So let's see, light and medium and probably large here. So these are light colored tables, as you can see, and these are medium colored tables. So you can choose any tables out of that, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So that's how you can edit the table. So it doesn't really have to be this color, but you can choose this one, you can choose black one, a blue one, a more thicker one, more thinner one. It really depends on what your aesthetic is like. Why is Microsoft Excel helpful? Microsoft Excel enables users to format, organize, and calculate data in a spreadsheet. So, like I said before, Microsoft Excel is more used for science related topics or math related topics. So, I'm going to show you guys here. If you click Excel, mine looks a bit different because I'm using the online browser version of Microsoft Word and Excel. But if you guys have the plan, you can always type in here Microsoft Excel. Right here, you can click that. Either one works, but I'm just using the website version. So if you can see here, these are all the new prompts, all the separate prompts. So see more templates. Now look at this. I can create just a new blank workbook, but that's boring, right? I don't want to create a blank workbook. I want to see, let's say I'm collecting data and I wanted to have a project tracker. That looks pretty cool. So I click that and it takes me to this. Let's see. All right, it's loaded now. So it takes me to your already presetted Microsoft Excel. So you can see here, project tracker. And then this was what I'm talking about, was what I was talking about, the first column. So you can type in anything. It's most likely the topic of that column. So let's say, like an example here, socks, it tells you about, and then price. You can ignore the rest. You don't have to consider these, just ignore them. All right, socks and price. So let's say sock number one is, let's say, Javen sock. It's not an official brand, but I'm just making it up. Price is, let's say, 10 cities for each song. Let's see. No. I'm not sure why. Okay, well. I guess I can't edit this for now. That's the problem about like predetermined, um, preset in Microsoft Excel. Some of this you can't even edit. But let's say you just leave it like this. I'm not actually sure how to fix this problem. I'm pretty sure it's just the weird Microsoft Excel thing. doesn't let me create a new category. So because this is already a presetted Microsoft Excel, it already has its own category, so you cannot edit some of these. But if you can't edit some of these, you can always go back to Microsoft Excel and say, I really like the design, but I'm just gonna create my own because sometimes I can't edit it. Let's see. Create a blank one. It's easier to view. Right here. This is a blank one. Let's create from scratch. Alright. So socks and price. Say for one shaven socks is going to be 10 cities. I say one Daniels, my brother's socks. It's not a brand, but I just make it up. It's gonna be 8 cities. So one Jung A's socks, which is my mom's socks brand, is gonna be 5 cities. So now I created a basic table. As I told you before, you can highlight this whole thing by dragging right here. Dragging and I selected all this. Let's say I want table design, sales styles. Format it as a table first, which you can see here. It doesn't really say here, but you can always click on it right here. Just hover over it and it says sales styles. Well, I don't want sales styles, I just want to format as table. So I click this button. And it shows you what my this one says right here. It's the same page, right? Yeah. So you can choose any of these, a light one, a more thicker one, or a dark one. See, I want a more impactful one. I want a dark one. I really like this red one. Here's okay. Now I created this table, which looks pretty neat. So if you want to print this or save this, click Files, of course. There's Save As. Oh, same, I forgot to mention for my docs right here, it's the same. File and Save As. This documents, remember the dark gauges. Yeah, that one too. And for Excel, it's the same. You can file, save as, or just save to your computer. And then what you can do from now is same as Word. You can always edit the size. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can make the bold, unbold, italicize, underline, underline. So these are just basic features that you can change the font from. Now let's say I want page layout and do brings page setup, draw. As you can see before, I can draw anything out of this. Insert, as you can see before, the pictures, shapes, tables. I already created a table, so I don't need it. But shapes, I can create like this one right here. It's accessible here. So let me click on it. Yeah, I created this shape. Okay, I can also create this shape, this, and these are all accessible in Microsoft Excel. And one thing I forgot to mention. Let's say you want to graph this whole thing. Highlight it. Highlight this whole thing. There we go. I highlighted this whole thing. So let's say I want to make a bar graph. Click this. So now you have to edit it. So select data out of it. So now, wait, let me just step back a bit. So first you click all this, and you right click. First, do this. And then, sorry. Then create a table out of it. Insert, and from this, you can insert a bar graph, which I did right here. So now what you have to do is right click here, select data. So now the data is going to be like this. So socks right here at the bottom, and socks 2, which is right here. So you can always add and format. I can set the minimum to actually -5, just to be interesting, and the maximum to be 8. Actually, the maximum must be 15 because mine is 10 cities. Let's see, as you can see here, it already set it up for you. Now I have to fix the data. Add field, those two. Now actually you can edit what these heights will be. You can edit the bar graph and how tall these are going to be by the data and add field, and you can always format these later. And you can always change to this graph right here. I can actually select this. There you go. Row height, you can change the cell height, column width, row length. You can always right click too. Set to actually format right here. You can always change what you want. And you can change the font here, change everything you like. Once you do this, let's say you want to save this. You click here, you save as right here. See the screen? You can save it to your desktop and select, and then it's gonna save automatically to your desktop. So this is the basics of Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. As I told you guys before, it's more for scientific purposes. Microsoft Excel is more for scientific purposes and mathematical purposes, but you can also use them for daily life data tables as well. And to review, Microsoft Word is what you can use to create any essays or any type of kind of charts and images or anything else. And actually, we're going to go over Microsoft um, PowerPoint on next week's lecture video. So be excited for that, which Microsoft PowerPoint has a lot to cover and is way more interesting than Word and Excel. You can add animations, and pictures with spinning motions, and there's pictures with side spinning motions, and they're all different these fun animations that you can create in Microsoft PowerPoint. So be excited for that on next week's lecture video. And thank you for watching for today's video. To contact me, you can always contact me by this email right here, jvention2008 at gmail.com. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.